Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 7 through chapter 16, verse 12. When there is a poor man with you, one of your brothers within any of the gates in your land which Yahuweh your Elohim is giving you, do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from your poor brother, for you shall certainly open your hand to him, and certainly lend him enough for his need, whatever he needs. Be on guard lest there be a thought of Belial in your heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is near, and your eye is evil against your poor brother, and you give him naught. And he shall cry out to Yahuweh against you, and it shall be a sin in you. You shall certainly give to him, and your heart should not be grieved when you give to him, because for this reason Yahuweh your Elohim does bless you in all your works and in all to which you put your hand, because the poor one does not cease from the land. Therefore I am commanding you, saying, you shall certainly open your hand to your brother, to your poor and to your needy one in your land. When your brother is sold to you, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, and shall serve you 6 years, then let him go free from you in the 7th year. And when you send him away from you, let him not go away empty-handed. You shall richly supply him from your flock, and from your threshing floor, and from your winepress. With that which Yahuweh has blessed you with, give to him. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Mitzrayim, and Yahuweh your Elohim ransomed you. Therefore I am commanding you this word today, and it shall be, when he says to you, I do not go away from you, because he loves you and your house, because it is good for him with you, then you shall take an awl and thrust it through his ear to the door, and he shall be your servant forever. Do the same to your female servant. Let it not be hard in your eyes when you send him away free from you, for he has been worth a double hired servant in serving you 6 years. And Yahuweh your Elohim shall bless you in all that you do. Set apart to Yahuweh your Elohim all the firstborn males that come from your herd and your flock. Do not work with the firstborn of your herd, nor shear the firstborn of your flock. You and your household are to eat it before Yahuweh your Elohim year by year in the place which Yahuweh chooses. But when there is any defect in it, lame or blind, or has any evil defect, do not slaughter it to Yahuweh your Elohim. Eat it within your gates, the unclean and the clean alike, as the gazelle and as the deer. Only do not eat its blood, pour it on the ground like water. Guard the new moon of Aviv, and perform the Pesach to Yahuweh your Elohim, for in the new moon of Aviv Yahuweh your Elohim brought you out of Mitzrayim by night. And you shall slaughter the Pesach to Yahuweh your Elohim from the flock and the herd in the place where Yahuweh chooses to put his name. Eat no leavened bread with it. For 7 days you eat unleavened bread with it, bread of affliction, because you came out of the land of Mitzrayim in haste, so that you remember the day in which you came out of the land of Mitzrayim all the days of your life. And no leaven should be seen with you in all your border for 7 days, neither should any of the meat which you slaughter in the evening on the first day stay all night until morning. You are not allowed to slaughter the Pesach within any of your gates which Yahuweh your Elohim gives you, but at the place where Yahuweh your Elohim chooses to make his name dwell. There you slaughter the Pesach in the evening at the going down of the sun, at the appointed time you came out of Mitzrayim. And you shall roast and eat it in the place which Yahuweh your Elohim chooses, and in the morning you shall turn and go to your tents. 6 days you eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day there is a closing festival to Yahuweh your Elohim. You do no work. Count 7 weeks for yourself. Begin to count 7 weeks from the time you begin to put the sickle to the grain, and you shall perform the festival of Shavuot to Yahuweh your Elohim according to the voluntary offering from your hand, which you give as Yahuweh your Elohim blesses you. And you shall rejoice before Yahuweh your Elohim, you and your son and your daughter, and your male servant and your female servant, and the Levite who is within your gates, and the stranger and the fatherless, and the widow who are in your midst, at the place where Yahuweh your Elohim chooses to make his name dwell. And you shall remember that you were a slave in Mitzrayim, and you shall guard and do these laws.